Hi, my name is Abby Allen, and I'm going to be teaching you about the different types of exchanges that are taught in AP World History. So the first of which is a culture exchange, which is an exchange between two countries to promote mutual understanding. So like when you go to a party, you want to bring like chips and salsa to the host so you can, make there less tension and so you're not so apprehensive toward each other and you can get to know each other better. So some of the big ones in history was one, the expansion and the exchange of religions. The Silk Road helped to spread these religions, but also many goods. So Silk Road brought like the Western Asians Buddhism, which started over in Eastern Asia, but it also helped trade goods from the Middle East into Asia. And the next one is language. The Phoenicians invented the first alphabet over in modern day Lebanon, and that alphabet is, or started to be used by the Romans, and that same alphabet is the one we use today in English and all other languages that use that same alphabet. Next is, like I said, with religion. Christopher Columbus, when he migrated to the Americas from Europe, he brought Christianity into the Americas, or later on Christianity to the Americas. And he also brought many goods to the Native Americans, like weapons and horses and just a bunch of different goods that the Americas did not have. But he also brought diseases, which isn't fun. But in exchange for those weapons, the Native Americans helped out the Europeans start to conquest land, which, look where that got us. Next is the Mayflower ship, which is a later on journey the Europeans took to America, and they ended up in Massachusetts. And ever since then, that's kind of what started the founding of the United States, because they settled in Massachusetts, and they also brought a lot of goods from Europe, a lot of religion, the Pilgrims, that helped to spread Christianity as well to the Native Americans. They were always trying to evangelize, so they got the Native Americans to take on their religion, and then they also took on a lot of goods, a lot of diseases. So a lot of exchanges from Europe to the Western world, which is why we're here today. So those were some of the big cultural exchanges, exchanges of goods, exchanges of food, religion, just anything from one side of the world, one culture to another culture. And it makes us the way we are today. Next are regional exchanges, which are like culture exchanges, but instead of exchanging a piece of culture, you're exchanging a piece of something that you can get only in your region to another region. So a regional exchange, an exchange between regions, and a region is an area that is part of a country or having definable characteristics, but not always boundaries. So some big regional exchanges throughout history is the exchange of gasoline from the Middle East or wherever else gasoline is cultivated to other regions, and then the other regions give them goods in exchange. Gasoline is what fuels our cars, it fuels our planes, it fuels our trains, it fuels the world basically. Also, going back more in history, the Silk Road from Middle East to Asia, those are two different regions, and there were many goods like spices, pottery, weapons, any types of goods were exchanged along that road. Another thing were the Greek and Roman exchanges, they're kind of close, but they're still two different countries, two different regions, and they were always trading with each other, like the exchange of wine, it's a big one, exchange of food, exchange of ideas, but things that are exclusive to those two regions. And the last one is the exchange of cotton from the north to the south in America. Now that cotton was cultivated by slaves, and the North wasn't with that, but they still needed that cotton, so the South gave the North their cotton in exchange for other things from the North. But look where that got us today. No slavery, which is always good. Also, it could be like sugar from Cuba and the Central Americas, tobacco from the South. There's a lot of goods were being exchanged between the North and the South American regions. So lastly is a cross-cultural exchange, which is like a culture exchange, like a regional exchange. It's when goods, services, cultures, ideas are all being exchanged from different places. So cross-cultural, it's the same, but it just means that two or more different countries or cultures are involved. So a big one, I already said this, is the Silk Road. Many countries, many different settlements were all involved on the Silk Road, basically any type of land there. So big ones were China, India, and just the Middle East regions. They were all trading along that route, and along the way they were trading different parts of their culture, which formed the Asian culture. It's not the same as today, but there's some similarities that still are here today. I'm kind of winging this. Like I said, the Americas, they were always exchanging different types of cultural aspects, like religion, food. A lot of our religions and foods are very similar. Those are two big aspects of culture, religion and food, and language. On the Western world, the most typical language, most standard languages are going to be Spanish and English, and those are two very similar languages. So those were many different countries all came together, and some of them spoke English, some of them spoke Spanish, but they were all similar, and they all sprouted from Europe when the Europeans came over and settled. So, like French, they settled, the English, the Portuguese, the Spanish, they all came, and they all put their roots into us, and it's why we are here today. So yeah, those were some cross-culture exchanges, and in conclusion, the world has had many exchanges with different parts of the world. One part of the world has not lacked an exchange with another part of the world, which is good because it's a big world, it's also a small world, and we have a lot to offer to each other. And yeah, thank you for watching.